All right, Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, brothers around the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. And this is just a quick prophecy update. I was reading this article and I was actually watching. As I usually do, it comes out with good information. Off grid desert farming. And, recently, it's about 2 days ago, but he said, breaking news, Israel readies attack plans for Iran as Russia sends 24 Su-35 fighter jets to Iran. Now, what does this mean? All right, this is the initiation, man. This is, we're coming into the time where America and the West is allies, the leader being America. And then you have the other vassal states known as the that make up the 10 horns. All right, which make up this whole beast system. All right, being written by the whore, which is America. All this is about we're in the time of this coming down. The Lord is bringing this down. Okay? And it tells you in the scriptures that, let me just get it real quick and then we'll go back to Daniel 5. It tells you in the scriptures that the least of the flock, being Israel, shall lead them out. All right. So there's a reason why Iran is purchasing these fighter jets, man. Okay, and it says that they purchased 24, and then I believe in this lesson the man says that they got 40 to 44 more on back order, so there's going to be 60 of these, and that's a very, very powerful force when you get up in the air. All right, so you go from the ground force that they have. All right, but when you get up in the air, you have power through the air too. All right, and now you have power to combat the Air Force of Israel, who are the people that are not supposed to be over there in our land. All right, but they've gotten so much charity money from America, the whore over here. All right. That they have these jets that have put them, so to speak, in a higher level of power over Iran. Now that's changing. Why? Because the prophecy is coming to pass. All right. Let me see real quick. Let me grab this real quick. The least of the flock. And I don't want to make this too long. I'll read both of these. This is Jeremiah 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord. So what's happening and taking place on the earth, all right, the counsel is going to come through the prophets. It's going to come through the men of the Lord. And what counsel is that going to be? It's going to be the counsel of the creator of this place, this reality, this world, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, right? So the prophets are going to tell you the counsel of the Lord. It says that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, all right, talking about Israel, all right, this is a future prophecy, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So what's coming is that extermination by way of these Iranians, which are really the ancient Persians, man. Okay, and the prophecy of them coming into this land and all the allies that they have, it speaks on them coming and taking power over Israel in these last days, man. Okay, and why? Because they have went underneath the wing of Russia, which is also prophecy, Ezekiel 38. Now I'm gonna play a little bit of this. Let me close that. I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and I got a couple more scriptures.
They listen to news media coming from the United Kingdom, which is not correct 90% of the time. It's propaganda, just giving our point of view and nobody else's, but that's not the truth. I'm telling you the truth here. So anyway, these jets were manufactured for Egypt in a big deal. And we told Egypt, you better not buy them. And that's what happened. So Egypt canceled the contract. So these 24 Su-35s have been just sitting around Russia for a year or two. And Russia made a military deal with Iran to give them or sell them these jets in exchange for some of Iran's drones and ballistic missiles. So Israel right now is having a fit. Now, the Israeli government has
And
just
why is Israel having a fit? Because this is giving. See, the Lord is giving back Iran power. All right, and he's using it. He's using Russia to do it. All right, it's in the prophecy. Let's get it real quick, actually. And I got an article pulled up there as well. This is Ezekiel 38, and we all know this is Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. This is why Russia's coming forth. This is why this whole war in Ukraine is taking place, because this is all by way of prophecy. Because Russia is not really fighting Ukraine. Russia is fighting the beast system. Russia is fighting this Edomite power structure that was set up on the earth. Because that's prophecy. The book of Revelation, the 13th chapter says what? That the end of this Edomite, this so-called white man's power structure, which is, when I say that this power structure, I mean, for instance, when they speak of, these other countries speak of the West, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about this power structure over here in the West and all these Western European countries underneath the same doctrines and wine as we read of in the scriptures, all right, of America. All right, you go to any of these countries, these Western countries, these NATO and the EU countries, all right, and you'll sort of feel like you're in the U.S. You see, they have pushed feminism over there, all these things, man. All that wine is heavy in these Western European countries. But that's not so for Russia. Why? Because they were saved, all right, for the purposes of Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. Ezekiel 38 tells you that, and also Revelation, the 13th, I believe it's the 13th chapter, or the 11th chapter. All right, it tells you that the end of this system over here, which is really the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, is going to be taken down by the bear, the Russians. All right, actually, you know what? Let's grab it real quick. Let's paint the picture. This is Ezekiel. It's like this is Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. Describing what? This beast system, the NATO and the EU. All right? America and these, in common day terms, America and the vassal states of these that make up these Western European countries. They're written in the scriptures because they're the same Edomites, all right, that made up the Roman Empire. All right, same vassal states, same families. All right, I believe I got it written down. I got it written down in my older sword on the older names of all these Western European countries, such as Spain, France, Germany, Italy, so on and so forth. France, I believe I said that, but you get the understanding. These countries, all right, they ultimately stem back to ancient families, and I have those written down. But they make up this beast system. So this is what the scriptures talks about when it says the whore that rideth the beast. The whore is America. All right, because it's riding on top of these other smaller countries. All right, this is why Ukraine was trying to join. All right, verse 2, it says, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard." All right, because this beast system that we have, this Edomite power structure, it began with what? The Greeks. All right, that's what that's talking about. It began with Alexander the Greek. You can read it in the book of Daniel, the statue. All right, there was an order to the kingdoms that the Lord set up on the earth, and the statue is a similitude for that, and it lets you know if you read the book of Daniel. It tells you about all the ancient great kingdoms that would rise on the earth. All right, and this was what? The orchestration of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the God of Israel, right? So in these last days, the Lord has a special purpose for Russia. That's why they're being brought forth. All right, they're being hardened against America because the Lord is doing that. That's why you had 15,000 Polish soldiers sent over to Ukraine to fight, because now NATO understands that they have to get involved. Because if Russia runs over Ukraine, they're just going to go and start going into the next country. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to break out into a bigger war. This is what's happening. This is World War III, all right, that we are currently in. All right? You have 15,000 Polish troops over there on the ground. The Polish, they are what? A part of the NATO and the EU. They're part of the alliance of the U.S. So that means that what? We're inside of the war with these countries. So we're at war with Russia. Right? Now, these wars, it's a period of time and things take place before they get bad. But as we can see through the prophecy, this is what the whole outlook on it is, that what? It's going to eventually turn into nuclear war. All right? Why? Because what? Russia is being pulled forth to end America and the Western power structure. Revelation 13:2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Right? Because the laws and the regulations that came forth first out of England, Great Britain. Right? It says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. All right, so we're seeing what? That the point was that the feet of this system would be the feet of a bear. The bear today is what? Symbolic for Russia, which is why they're being brought forth, which is why what? They're becoming a guard unto these nations. That's why Russia is sending a total of what? 60 to 65 jets. All right, they increased the power of Iran over Israel, man. Israel is having a hard time accepting it. All right? Because what? This is ultimately going to turn into a collision eventually. Now, let's get this real quick. Ezekiel 38 and 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Who is the first nation you see here? Persia. All right. Persia today is Iran. The Iranians, they are the ancient Persians, the Elamites. Now I'm going to get this and I'm going to show you something real quick. Play a little bit more of this.
So elected a new leader, which is really not a new leader. Benjamin Netanyahu has been the longest serving prime minister in Israel for the last 20 years. So he's come back to power with the most right-wing government ever in Israel. And now he's talking about forming a war council to speed up an attack on Iran nuclear facilities, because Netanyahu and Israel doesn't want Iran getting these top-of-the-line fighters, these fourth-generation plus fighter jets. They don't want them in Iran, because this is going to be a game changer. And not only is Iran going to be getting 24, they just signed a deal to buy 40 more. So altogether.
So what do you think? What do you think this is going to turn into, man? Like, I used to play this game called, I believe, the older Battlefields before these newer ones came out. If, brothers they've ever played Battlefield, the Battlefield video games. The older ones, they showed this. See, the U.S., they showed this in their video games when they let these out, maybe 10 years ago. And you had different, countries that you can, join the squad on inside the game. You can join Russia, China, America. I think there was Iran, so on and so forth, if I'm not mistaken. And that was just a foreshadowing of what's about to happen, because they knew that eventually this would happen down the road. All right, everything has been orchestrated and written from the beginning. All right, and Esau uses a lot of desensitization, all right, and, subliminal things to show you things to come. See, he's a witch on the left-hand side. So he'll show you the truth, but people, since it's so far into the future beyond their thinking, they don't understand it. They just think it's entertainment. And then what? Down the line, these years later, you see, like 8 years ago, that was in the movie. What's happening now? Yeah, because this man that is ruling the society, these people are witches. All right, the elites of this world. Okay, So they'll show you in video games and movies, so on and so forth, what's to happen. Okay?
There's going to be like 64 top of the line, brand new Su-35 fighter jets going to Iran in the coming years. They're going to get 24 just in the next couple of weeks. And in exchange, Iran is going to be sending hundreds and maybe even thousands of drones, ballistic missiles, and other technology to Russia. So, who is responsible for all this, folks? You have to look at cause and effect. Cause and effect. Before the war started in Ukraine, the world was at peace around the world. It was at peace. There was no need for Russia to go to Iran to get drones and ballistic missiles, go to North Korea to get ammunition and artillery shells. There was no need for Russia to do.
This is the bond being made. These deals between these countries, this is the bond being made now, the pact being made. They're going to help each other. This is why he's talking about the cause and effect. Okay? This is written in the scriptures. Russia is going to be a guard unto a lot of nations. So, therefore, what? These smaller nations are going to give them stuff, and Russia's going to give them what? Technology, artillery. They're going to become their own thing. That's going to what? Eventually take down the West over here, man. This is prophecy. We're moving into these days. See? We're moving into these days. They're making the pacts. They're sending, they're exchanging resources, goods, artillery, technology, nuclear information. This is so you people think that America's going to continue, man. This next war, we ain't gonna win this next war. You Americans, America is finished. Babylon the Great, written in the scriptures. America, this great kingdom, that would arise in the last days. All right, the mother of all harlots is gonna be taken down, just as it says. It's gonna become desolate over here, man. And you can see the pacts, and you can see the alliance forming that the Lord spoke on. The Lord is moving Russia to do exactly what he said, exactly what the prophet said they would do in the last days.
Cause and effect. What is the cause and effect? So when we provoked this war, and I'm going to show you how we did this in a few minutes, when we provoked the war, Russia had to invade to protect its people because the neo-Nazis that run Ukraine were shelling for 8 years the Donbass area, killing Russian citizens. So they went in to protect their citizens. Cause and effect. And during the course of the war, the 11 months, Russia needs more ammunition and more missiles and everything that they used to fighting the Ukrainians. So now they went to Iran and North Korea. But if the war had not started, then this deal right now that you're seeing with the fighter jets would not have taken place. Cause and effect. We caused the war. We provoked the war. Now Russia needs arms just like Ukraine needs arms. They're going around the world contacting their allies so they can get supplies. Cause and effect. So we provoked the war, caused the war, and now Russia's using their supply chain just like Ukraine's using their supply chain through NATO to funnel.
Yep, exactly. So when NATO when NATO continues to supply Ukraine, these other countries just going to continue to supply and help Russia. And Russia is going to what? Become that wing, that covering over these other nations. That's why you have them sending what? That's why you have the Lord putting the spirit on them to send Iran, all right, things that'll get them the upper hand, man. These jets, which Iran hasn't had for so long now, man. They're sending them better technology. Because this is all going to culminate into that World War III, that third war that's spoken of in the scriptures, man. All right.
Massive amount of tanks and armor into Ukraine. Now Russia's replenishing their stocks and working out military deals with other countries. Cause and effect. So before I read the article, let's go even further back. I'm going to bring you this information, but I need to do it in a logical order. I need to set everything up logical so you'll know what happened.
All right, so I'll put that in the description box, Lord willing. Let's read this article real quick. This is from Forbes. It says the RIGC or RIAF, who will fly Iran's new Russian Su-35s. Iran will soon receive 24 factory-fresh Su-35 Flanker E fighter jets that Russian initially built for Egypt. According to Western intelligence sources, Iranian pilots already reportedly receiving training in Russia over the spring. It says Iranian pilots already purportedly received training in Russia over the spring, which shows you the alliance. All right, because you'll have NATO troops or you'll have Ukrainian troops training with American troops and so on and so forth. It's the same thing happening on the other side, except that the West over here, all right, the beast system and the horde, they don't understand that what's being built on the opposite side of their enemies that the Lord raised up, all right, which is Russia, who the Lord has put his hooks into, that they're waxing stronger than the West, way stronger. Okay, it says Iranian pilots already reportedly received training in Russia over the spring, but which Iranian pilots will ultimately fly them? Those serving in the regular Air Force, the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force, or those serving in the IRGC Air Force, the air arm of the powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps paramilitary. Whoever ends up flying them could prove significant, since taking power in 1979, the incumbent Islamic regime in Tehran has never trusted the regular army or air force. That's why it built up the RIGC as a loyal parallel armed force that has long since outgunned the regular military. Iranian pilots who served in the pre-revolutionary Air Force were imprisoned, tortured, and even executed by the country's new rulers. The regime kept others alive only because it needed them to fight in the Iran-Iraq war. Now, with this being said, what? Russia is becoming a guard unto Persia, man. The Iranians are the ancient Persians, man. So let's get this real quick. This is back in Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38 and 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So this is why you see this exchange of weaponry, exchange of goods, technology, because Russia is what? Russia is making sure everybody's properly armed to go into this next war. All right, Russia sees something good with Iran, so on and so forth. All right, they exchange, and everybody is getting what? Built up. Everybody's getting prepared. Everybody's getting supplied. All right, and armed, because these two sides are about to go at it. This alliance that Russia has with these other nations that they're a guard unto, against what? America and these Western countries, man, and NATO and the EU, man. You see? And it's going to end the worst for what? The whore. America over here. It's going to end the worst. All right? Because what? The prophecy of what? The beast hating the whore is already coming to pass. You have France. France is the Lord putting a spirit on them to start to come against America. So this is all going to eventually culminate into what? America ending. That's what the scriptures say. All right, so the Lord said, I'm going to read it again, Ezekiel 38 and 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, that's the Iranians, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. All right, so they're going to be armed, all right, with whatever they need. That's what's happening. The transactions are taking place. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Torgamah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. You see? This is what we're seeing Russia do by way of prophecy. They're becoming a guard unto these other nations. All right? This is why they sent out what? The S-400s. That's why they're sending out these jets. They're arming what? Their allies. To what? To get them prepared to go to war with the West. All right? It's not going to stop at Ukraine. All right? Now let me grab this real quick. This is, and it's ultimately because what? And this is the spirit. Just as before, ancient Babylon was taken down by the Persians and Medes. And the spirit's because what? Babylon was told, or Nebuchadnezzar's son was told by Daniel that his kingdom had been numbered. All right? And then what happened? It was taken over by the Medes and the Persians. Just as America. Just as Israel is about to be taken over by who? The Iranians. It's going to be a conflict over there. A very big one. Very big one. And it's all according to the prophecy. This is what eventually is going to take place. And I want to make this clear. It's not saying it's going to happen next month because we don't know, but we're measuring the times like it tells you in 2nd Esdras. We're giving you a forecast of what is about to come onto the earth. All right? Daniel 5. Let's get this real quick. Daniel 5 and 22, it says, and thou, his son, O Belshazzar, has not humbled thine heart, though thou knowest all this. All right. So there's a reason through the spirit this place is called Babylon the Great. All right. All the gods and ancient deities that were worshipped in Babylon are worshipped here. Okay. All those Chaldees, that's why this place is also known as the Chaldees' excellency. All that witchcraft, all that wickedness, idol worship. All right, just as it was ended in the past by the Persians and the Medes, you have over there in Israel. All right, the conflict they're about to face with what? The Persians once again, because ultimately this goes back to what? America coming to an end, because America's been numbered. All right, and it's about to go down. Daniel 5 and 22, and thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven. That's what these Edomites over here in America did in the new Babylon, the great. And they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the Lord in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified. All right. Same thing with America, Babylon the Great. They hold in esteem what? The delicacies, the riches, the luxury. All right. All that came from what? Off the back of our people, of course. And at the same time, they go contrary to the Most High and blaspheme him over here with their laws, the regulations and rules over here. All right, how family structures are set up, the authority they give women is all contrary to the scriptures. So they don't give no reverence to the Lord. They do. This is a nation over here, the Edomites, doing what they want to do. This is a godless, God-forsaken, all right, country over here. They don't give reverence to the Most High. Or they wouldn't what? Be trying to demonize us for bringing out these scriptures. It's crazy. They try to demonize us and call us terrorists. We're reading out of the scriptures. But then this land says that they're a God-fearing country. Something don't add up, man. Somebody lying. And it's these Edomites over here, man. And they're being found wanting. All right. It says, then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Many, many tekel a parson. This is the interpretation of the thing. Many, the Most High had numbered thy kingdom and finished it. So that's why brothers always say this place is finished. It's all through the Spirit. This place is finished. And the elites understand what we say. They understand what we're saying when we say this place is finished. It's been numbered already. The Lord has demolition work coming for this place. See, the illusion of a standing society is only the people that don't have the Spirit are in that illusion, in that matrix still. But even then, you have our people waking up to, and a lot of the heathens and everybody else waking up to the bullshit going on in America. You got a lot of our people that know they Israelites. They coming up. They waking up. That signifies and is symbolic for what? The finishing and the numbering of what America, Babylon the Great is done over here. It's finished. You see? Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Paris, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. All right, so what? Israel, they're going to have a conflict with Iran. They're the least of the flock written of in the scriptures that I read in Jeremiah. And that's going to what? That's the start. All right, to what? Eventually the taking of America, Babylon the Great, over here in the West, Western Hemisphere, in North America, man. All right, this is what's coming now. Let me grab this real quick. Let's go back. This is 2nd Ezra 15. I don't mean for this to go too long, but it's a spirit. The 2nd Ezra 15 and it says, where should I start? 27. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for the Lord shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him, our people, not taking heed to these scriptures, right? Not repenting. Behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. See? Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. This is what's about to happen. Iran is about to what? Get ready and prepared, man. Just as Russia is getting prepared over there in Europe, man. That's why you have, see, they show you these things, and once again in these video games, all the Call of Duty games, man. There's an episode or a mission in Call of Duty where the Russian submarines come up onto the coast of the east and the west. All right, the video games show you what? You get to play, you get to be in China's army, you get to be in America's army, you get to be in a Russian army, the army of Iran. These things have already been set up, man. If brothers have ever played the Battlefield games. See? It says, verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Verse 30, also the Carmanians. Who are the Carmanians? Let's grab this real quick, and then we'll end it here. This will be the last scripture. All right, this is the Encyclopedia of Iranica. I'm going to just zoom in. It says Carmania, region east of Fars province, approximately equivalent to modern Carmen. The old Persian form. So these are the Persians, the Carmanians. Rendered as Elamite. You see? So these are the ancient Elamites. The Persians. These are also the people that what? They allowed us to rebuild our temple during the time of Esther. All right? And I believe during the time of Ezra, if I'm not mistaken. It says Persh is attested only once in inscriptions, where it is said that sissa wood or wood tree was brought from Gadahara or Carmania for Darius's palace at Susa. Darius was what? He was king of the Medes. So this is all spiritual. What's happening again with Babylon the Great over here? All right. In Persepolis fortification tablets, Carmania is mentioned fairly frequently in connection with travelers between there and Susa. A certain Carcass or apparently a high official of Carmania, is also named. The old Persian ethnic name, Carmanian, is reflected in Elamite, which occurs twice in unpublished tablets. And in Greek, it says, and these were ancient warriors, man. These were the ancient Persians and Medes, man. So why are they in the prophecy? Because they're going to be used by Yahweh Shem Shai. They're under the wing of Russia, as it tells you in the book of Ezekiel 38, Persia. All right. So Ezra, he saw what? He saw this. The prophets had all visions of what? The big picture. All right, prophecy. All right, this is verse 30, 2nd Ezra. I think it's 15 and 30. Yep, chapter 15, verse 30. Also, the Carmanians, which we now know are the Persians and the Medes, was like a mixture what eventually became the Persians. All right, through the prophecy. Also, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, man. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great powers to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. See? So this is all written, what's happening over there in the east as well. The gathering of the troops over there in the east. All right, the Lord is mustering the host of this great battle that's about to take place on the earth. The third woe, as it tells you in the book of Revelation, man. All right, so I'm going to put these articles and then this description from this encyclopedia in the description box in the video. So, Lord will know it's edifying. I don't want to make it too long. Call halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles for ruling well. And double honors to, salutations to you brothers around the world pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom and a Abba Ball.